Hi everybody, welcome to Direct Drive Hub's Theory Workshop. First of all, I'd like to apologise about last week. I had a few technical difficulties, so I wasn't able to put a video out for last week. Do apologise. So get ourselves back on track again for this week. What I'm going to be talking about this week is signals, more specifically using the indicator, one of the biggest grey areas in driving, I believe. So just before we move into that, just a couple of things. Getting some really good positive feedback from the theory workshop, okay, and I would just like to really kind of add to this is the theory workshop, okay, is not just for you to pass your theory test, it's also there, okay, to help you with your practical side of driving and to pass your driving test. I've been looking really closely over the last 12 months reasons why people are failing driving tests. Okay, and that's not just my pupils. I've been having a bit of a general look and looking at reasons why are failing. And one of the things, okay, that I'm noticing, okay, is the reason for failing is lack of knowledge, lack of understanding. And this is one of the reasons why I decided to put this theory workshop together on a Tuesday, to try and obviously help with that. If you think about that, quite often, okay, when things go wrong, it's not always, okay, down to the way or the controlling of the car. Yes, in your early stages of learning to drive, you're going to have a lot of control issues with driving the car and mismanagement of the clutch, brakes, gear changing, steering and all those things, absolutely. But as you progress, okay, obviously you become much better and much more skilled at actually driving the car. So what then causes the problems generally when you're driving? Well, it's normally a given situation that has actually come up and developed that you possibly don't know how to deal with. And the reason why you don't know how to deal with it is because obviously lack of knowledge or lack of understanding. So hence this is why we're trying to put your knowledge and understanding, okay, making it much better. So therefore, okay, when you're faced with these given situations, you have that understanding and knowledge, therefore you know how to deal with it in a correct, safe manner, and it's not going to cause you a problem. That's the thing about driving, okay, we've got to remember, okay, with driving, we never know what we're going to face, what situations we're going to face, whatever, okay, you know, when we are driving, we are generally driving completely into the unknown. We might know the roads, but we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to develop, okay, on those roads as we're driving, and that is what we've got to be prepared for as drivers, is be prepared for the unexpected, basically. So, you know, these short videos, okay, that I'm trying to put out on on Tuesday evening for you guys, is there to hopefully maybe provoke your thinking. You know, it's not going to give you all the answers, but if it's not only just provoking thinking, okay, maybe where you can then use books, do some research yourself, have a talk with your driving instructor about situations to try and improve on your knowledge, okay, and get that together, then it's really, really going to help you. So if that's, you know, if I'm provoking thought and stuff like that, then as far as I'm concerned, okay, I'm doing what I'm aiming to do, okay, on this theory workshop, is to try and get you thinking and understanding about things which you can then go off and explore in bigger, greater detail. Okay, so having a look on tonight then, okay, I just want to talk about, as I say, signals tonight, and more specifically is using your indicator, because this generally comes up to be quite a grey area, knowing when to use the indicator, not to use the indicator, because the problem with using our indicator is it can mislead, okay, it can be interpreted by other road users that you're meaning or potentially going to do something else that you're not, which could actually then lead to problems. So first of all, we've got to know, okay, why do we use the indicator? Well, we're simply using that indicator to inform other road users, and including other road users, we're including pedestrians, cyclists, and all those, okay, into that equation. We're there to obviously inform other road users of what our intention is going to be, what we're going to be doing. So therefore they can obviously plan and take action, okay, at a reasonable time to deal with that, so it's not going to cause them a problem. So if we start to use that indicator, okay, badly, then obviously we're potentially going to be causing those other road users to do things, okay, that they shouldn't be doing. We can end up causing a problem. So that's what we've got to think about. There's something else to kind of really say, remember, okay, use the indicator, because we should only really use that indicator if it's necessary. It shouldn't become a habit where we just got into the habit of using it and switching it on, switching it off. And the problem with that, okay, because obviously as soon as we allow it to become a habit and we stop thinking about why we're actually using it, that's where then, okay, we're more likely to mislead with the indicator. For example, okay, if we go to the early stages, okay, of our driving lessons, okay, when we're looking at doing the moving off and stopping from the side of the road, your instructor, okay, will probably be running through the routines with you for that moving off and stopping, and obviously telling you that you only need to signal when moving off, okay, from the side of the road, or signal when parking up on the left if anyone else is going to benefit from it. If no one's around and nobody's going to benefit from giving a signal, then there's no reason to give it. Now, something I get asked a lot, which is a fair question, I guess, but, well, does it matter if I give a signal anyway? Am I hurting anything if I give a signal anyway? No, probably not. But the way I look at this is, if we just start to get into that habit of giving a signal, even when there's no need to, we're getting into that habit of using the indicator again without thinking about it. So this is where it can then start to lead into other areas, okay, or problems, okay, with using it. So no, if there isn't a reason to use your indicator when you're moving off and stopping, what I say is don't use it, okay? It should be a conscious decision to whether you are going to signal or whether you're not going to signal in that situation. So it's something you need to think about, okay? Without sounding sarcastic, do we need to tell ourselves that we're parking on the left? Do we need to tell ourselves that we're moving off? No. Do we need to tell ourselves that we're turning right at a roundabout and things like that? You've got to remember, we're not using the indicator for our benefit. We're using the indicator for the benefit of other road users, so they are going to be aware of what our intentions are. So our signal should always be thought through, using the routine of checking mirrors, knowing what's going on around you, knowing what's ahead of you, and consciously using that signal at the right time, all right, rather than it just being this thing that we switch on and off. And I think once you start to think about your indicator in a much more conscious way, then you'll find that the use of it, okay, will improve. So, you know, it's like junctions, okay? If we're driving in a built-up area, all right, and we're turning left and right in and out of junctions and stuff like that, then generally I would say that it is a good idea to always use the indicator. Why? Because although the junction may appear clear at the time, okay, of you wanting to signal, all right, at any moment something could come around that junction, come around the corner. So it is always then a really good idea, okay, to give a signal, okay, when it comes to dealing with junctions in built-up areas. If you're driving out in the country and you can see, you know, clearly around, okay, at a junction, and you can clearly see that there's nothing there, then obviously, no, you don't need to give a signal, okay? Obviously, that signal is always going to be there to benefit other road users, not yourself. But the thing is, in a built-up area, we don't always know what is around us, because obviously things are obstructing, houses, fences, trees, whatever, are causing those obstructions, so we can't always see other road users. So therefore, that reason, okay, it is a good idea to always give a signal when dealing with junctions in a built-up area. I think timing and misleading signals, okay, where they tend to come in, okay, classic areas. Driving down the road, you have a parked car on the left. Do we need to signal to show that we're going around that parked car? And again, ideally, okay, normally I would say no, you don't. If you've checked your mirrors in good time, you've adjusted your speed if needed in good time, and you start moving out in good time, traffic behind, okay, will see what you're doing, so therefore your road position and your road speed is also giving a signal. So generally, okay, there's not a need, okay, to give a signal to show that you're pulling out to the right to go past a parked car and to pull back in after you passed it. Mirror work, okay, obviously making sure that you've checked your mirrors before you move in and out of the space. Yeah, very important. The problem you can think about, okay, if you give a signal to go around the parked car, especially if you're driving in a relatively built up area where you've got lots of roads, that signal then could be misinterpreted that you intend to turn right or turn left if you're signalling back in, which could cause more problems. So that is the thing that you've got to think about is, you know, are other road users going to take that signal for the intention that you're actually giving it? So generally I'd say no, okay, you don't need to signal around parked cars. Now, I never say never, because obviously circumstances and situations can always be different. For example, if I just quickly draw on here, we have a road and we have lots of parked cars down this road. Okay, and there's a large vehicle, maybe like a bus or a lorry or something, okay, that's driving down towards, and we are coming up the road. Alright, chances are, okay, we're going to be probably forced into this space on the left between these parked cars, so we are going to go in, okay, to this space to allow this large vehicle to come through. Now I possibly would then signal right to show that I'm coming out, because obviously if there is any traffic behind you, they might think that you pulled in there possibly to park up. So what can happen, okay, is traffic behind could then, once the vehicle's gone through or whatever, could try and overtake you and pass you. So by putting that signal on, then obviously you're showing that you pulled in there to obviously allow that vehicle to come through and you intend to move out again. So there's a possible reason, okay, why we would give a signal to come out around parked cars. So, you know, the situation is, you know, unfortunately driving isn't black and white. We can't always say, always do this and never do that. We've got to look at situations and we've got to think about, okay, what is going to be the best way to deal with that situation. And again, it's where I started, okay, at the start of this video, okay, saying knowledge and understanding, because these are the sort of things, okay, where if your knowledge and understanding isn't quite there and you're faced with a given situation like this, particularly on your driving test, okay, this is where something could very easily go wrong, where you pulled out as a car's trying to pass you, okay, and it's going to obviously cause you all sorts of problems. So, you know, this is why knowledge and understanding is so important, okay? And the better your knowledge and understanding, okay, then obviously the better your driving you're going to be, and the huge chances are, okay, you're going to go along and pass your driving test. So this is, you know, crucially important for you. Roundabouts is another area, okay, you know, it's probably one of the biggest common areas, okay, where we see poor signalling or people don't signal or whatever, okay. And again, really generally, I think the best rule to use on this one is, you know, a left signal means left, a right signal means right. So if we're taking the road ahead at a roundabout, we can't signal left or right on approach, because obviously that's going to be misleading. So obviously your road ahead is no signal. And the way I look at it, okay, when you're seeing other vehicles not signalling, okay, that could mean, okay, the fact is that there's no signal, then that is the signal. Alright, and then obviously we can signal left to leave the roundabout. So once we pass the last exit, we can then signal left to leave the roundabout, because whichever exit we're taking, it's always going to be a left turn or a left leave off the roundabout. Okay, so mini roundabouts, okay, the same, okay, obviously signal approach, left or right, road ahead, no signal. Generally on a mini roundabout there isn't any need to give a signal off the mini roundabout or to change the signal from right to left off the mini roundabout, especially if it's a very small tight roundabout, because trying to obviously alter your signal or give a signal could affect your steering and cause you problems in that area. So your steering is much more important, so therefore mini roundabouts, it's not essential or necessary to give a signal to leave the roundabout. But on approach, your signals are going to be exactly the same. Remember, okay, something I sometimes do with my pupils when it comes to roundabouts, because I know that roundabouts, okay, can be confusing, and people can be quite bad at giving signals on roundabouts, but there is other clues we can look for to obviously know where the vehicles are going, okay, on a roundabout, and that's by looking at their position on the roundabout and their speed. So sometimes what I do with my pupils is I'll find a roundabout, park up nearby it, get out of the car and actually get them to stand and actually look and watch the traffic on the roundabout and look at the positioning and stuff that they're taking on the roundabout. So that way we can make decisions about where they're going, not just by their indicator, but also by their road position and their speed. So maybe it's something that you could ask your instructor to do, is obviously, or if you live by or you've got the time yourself in your own time, okay, is go and actually stand and watch a relatively busy roundabout and see how the traffic is flowing and positioning on that roundabout. Because once you start to see that, then obviously you will start to make much better decisions, okay, when to go and obviously come onto a roundabout. So yeah, it's things like that. Lane discipline. So driving on like things like dual carriageways, motorways, you know, or where there's two lanes. Again, we don't need to signal every time we go from a left to a right lane or a right lane to a left lane. Alright, particularly dual carriageways where, you know, around city centres or just outside city centres where you've got junctions on, okay, those dual carriageways, because those signals that you're giving, okay, on lane changing could again be misleading, saying that you're turning left and right down a junction. So generally, the rule of thumb I use with my pupils, if you can freely change lane, okay, without affecting any other road user, traffic's clearly well behind you, front of you, whatever, and you can change lane without affecting or causing any other road user a problem, you've checked your mirrors, you can see it's safe, you're not going to affect anyone else, then you can change lane without giving a signal. Sometimes, okay, if you're in very busy traffic, it might be that you need to get into the right hand lane because you're turning right or whatever and you've got slow moving traffic, then yes, give a signal and ask that traffic, okay, show that traffic that you want to be in that right hand lane, and if they know you want to be in that right hand lane, you know, quite often somebody will oblige, back off and let you in. You know, they're only going to know if that you want to be in that right hand lane if you tell them. So the only way we can tell them is obviously by putting the indicator on and showing that that's where we want to be. But just because you put the indicator on doesn't mean you can move into that lane. You're putting the indicator on and you've got to now check and make sure that somebody is going to let you into that lane. But other than that, okay, you know, we should be able to freely change lane, you know, without signalling all the time and that. So it's something, as I say, okay, is using the indicator is something that we should always think about first. Think about what it is you want to do, alright, and think about, okay, how we can inform other road users, okay, that we're going to do it if we need to inform them and that. And you'll find, okay, when you start to actually think about your signals, then you'll find that the timing of your signals will become better, okay, and the use of using your signal, your indicator will come better. You know, it is timing. I mean, obviously, another one just to finish off with, okay, is, you know, if we intended to turn right at the end of the road, but there was another junction, so we're driving down here, and we intended to turn right at the end of the road, but we signalled back here, the problem there is, okay, people might think we're intending to turn into this road, and if there was a car waiting to come out, that car might end up jumping out in front of you because they think that you're turning in. So we would need to obviously clear that junction first, okay, before putting our left-hand signal on. So sometimes, okay, a road layout can actually force us to give a late signal, but that shouldn't matter. Remember, okay, obviously we still check our mirrors back here before that junction. We can still start slowing down before that junction. We can still alter our position as needed before that junction. So your road position, your speed and all that lot, okay, is informing other road users that you're intending to do something. So the only thing we can't do is signal back here. Alright? Clear it and then signal. So it's something, again, talk through with your driving instructor a little bit more about, okay, is communication. It is a key important thing and part of driving. And signals, okay, giving signals isn't just by using your indicator. Your indicator is only one form of you giving a signal to other road users to what your intentions are. So it's something, okay, that you need to think about yourself. How else can you inform other road users what your intentions are going to be, okay, apart from using your indicator? How else can you tell what other road users are going to be doing apart from looking at their indicator? So it's something, okay, a good discussion to have with your driving instructor, and obviously when you're out and about in the car, have a look to see yourself, okay, how you're noticing things. Go and have a look at that roundabout, have a look at junctions, okay, try and be a little bit nosier, okay, to what actually traffic is doing, okay, outside of your lessons. All these things, okay, will actually really help you, okay, with your signals and then using your indicator. Okay, so hopefully that's been of some help to you for tonight, just thinking about signals and stuff. Any questions? Okay, hold on. Remember, visit us on directdrivehub.co.uk. Please like and share the video. I ask this every time, I know. Yeah, please share the video. If you know somebody who is learning to drive, you know somebody who wants to learn to drive, whether they're going to be one of our customers or going to another driving school, it really doesn't matter. Put them onto our Facebook page, okay, onto our Tuesday night video, theory workshop video, because hopefully it will really help them out. Okay, so great stuff. All right then, everyone, have a really good week, and hopefully we'll see you here at the same time next week. Bye for now.